Okay, we're ready to go on with Rocky Nook Park, and we have a pretty good start on it. You know, you always wonder, how should I proceed? And you think, do I dare do that? Why not? So I didn't give you what the answer was. You'll see it now. So we'll go ahead over to the canvas, and I need, well, let me just go there first. That's the model, and here's mine. Oh, Buck, I like yours better. Well, that's nice. Okay, thank you, Domby. All right, let's go ahead with this. I have put on a wash, or whatever you want to call it. It's just with the clear, magic clear over the whole thing.
Buck, I need to interrupt you for a minute. Go ahead and do that thing that Billy taught us to put something white up against the canvas so your camera comes into focus. Something, do you have anything white?
Well, that's...
Well, whiter than you?
You're trying to think, gee, I wonder if he's wearing a t-shirt. I wonder if it's white.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Thanks, Billy, for teaching us that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, like if you put it closer to the camera and take it away, not up to the cam. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, hold it up to the canvas or the camera.
The
Okay.
white balance. It fixes the white balance.
right there. Don't go away.
Okay. All right. Good. Now you're good
Get
to
away a
go.
little bit. Okay, so the thing that I have, like I said, magic clear on the whole thing. Now what I'm going to do, before I work on the right side, generally I'll work the painting all the way up and then come with a glaze across it. But I'm going to do a kind of an intermediate glaze. So I'm taking sap green, and I'll use just a little clear with it, so it's a little runny. And I'm going to put this, how come you're not doing anything? Oh, there you are. I'm going to put this across the sky a little bit, and when we get over on the right side, we'll even go stronger, which means a larger quantity. I did use a larger quantity right there. This will give us just a little tinting, and also then when we work into it with a little palette knife, it'll have something that will blend with and relate to. So coming over further with the Viridian green, no, sap green, make up your mind. Sap. Okay, coming over here, and when I want to, in a minute, I want to pull down the top one again, so I can answer a question you might have, and that would be in regards to this side. Okay, I'll go right over the red a little bit, and then Danielle, I'm going to put some of this over on the stream. I was so impressed with your start, but the thing to watch, and it isn't just you, but don't live with just blue, but it's water, but it's blue, water reflects. So if it's got some of the fall colors all around it, then naturally it's going to reflect some of that. Were you picking on her? No, she is so good. So proud of her. Okay, now let's take our other color. And when I say other color, I want to tell you what it is. It's a alizarin crimson. And just a second, I wrote it down and I have it. Oh, yellow ochre and alizarin crimson. Let's see what kind of formula we want on that. Here's the yellow ochre, and I'll start out with the equal parts and see if that works. Oh no, that's just a little strong. So I'm going to mix that in, and it ends up being 3 parts yellow ochre and 1 part of alizarin crimson. I'm kind of fumbling over here so I have some more yellow ochre when I need it. Now we'll come with the same idea as the sap green, which means I'm going to put on a glaze. Now I'm going to start this over in the right. Here's the right. And I'm just going to come across a little bit more at the top, come in through there. I really like doing this because it's there. Notice how strong that one is. And then Dondi would say, yeah, it's strong. Did you want it to be? Yes, Dondi, I want it to be strong in there. And then come down across the red just a little bit. I like the feeling of, and let me just bring this one down and show you. I like the feeling of these little rays showing here and there. So when you put this on, you're going to have a feeling of some of the rays coming down like that. And you say, well, how can that be? The sun's over there. That's all right. You still want some of the influence of the highlights and things going around there. I'm going to come stronger here. So now I glazed it on, but now I'm painting it on. So it has quantity and you can see it. It's not thin at all. I'll come right down through this middle here. So that gives me a kind of a break coming down through there. And the other thing it will do, when I put the highlight on the distant water, it won't have quite such a contrast because of the dark is on the sides, but not right where it's coming. Now let's go over into this area where we were last week, and we'll put just a little bit of the same thing. And as I do this, I'm doing it kind of spotty-like. And what I mean by that is touching it just slightly like that, rather than just a long glaze. This will help a lot because it really is close to the area of the sun. I did one thing that I sometimes like, but you have to be a little careful of it. I brought just a little bit the opposite direction like that. A little bit across there. That breaks up that kind of that fork in the tree. Oh, that make a nice slingshot. And then down here, I'll come across the tree just a little bit. And that, with that, you see the light on it. Now we may have to put a little dark back there, but it makes it slightly softened. Let's come over in here just a little bit and down to the right of this tree. And let's go back just a little bit. This again is just a little quantity touching that. And I see that happening down in here, just a little quantity on that. Use the finger that knows what to do. Put that on there and then just down here. Let's come over here, here, a little bit up there, and then over here, just a little higher there. Now, see on this side, we hadn't come with any detail work yet, which will be a good trunk, a good lights in there, and really, ooh, what about down below? Well, we'll put just a little bit in for now. These things, I didn't know I was going to do this today. You think, well, yesterday, why didn't you look at it and make a decision? I looked at it and I thought, well, I need guidance, but I don't know what I'm going to do. All right, and I love painting with adventure. Let's come back over on this side, and I'm going to take white, and let's see if that'll do it. I have, ooh, that's very little white. It's about 4 of this golden color, can I call that golden? Golden color and one white. Just a little bit on there. Let's go higher up here. We had these before, but after we put the glaze on, it kind of jumps out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take just some pure red too. Are you pure? Sounds like a church authority asking one of the parishioners, are you pure? Can you see that just a little bit? When I ask a question, I don't expect an answer. I'd be shocked. Somebody say yes. I'd say mute, mute. Except Lori. She's got the privilege of talking whenever she wants. It's her house.
Well, if that's the case, then Buck, I'll let you know we're all talking to you. You just can't hear us.
Oh. You are all right. You're a keeper. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit. Let's see what we want to take. I want to strengthen that little trunk there slightly. I have some, let's see, you're Lisbon and you are Van Dyke Brown, equal parts. I think I'll go for two alizarin. And see, and now I'll come through there just gently, because I don't want to lose the nice feeling of that glaze across there. I'll put a little branch in here, and then I'll be sort of strong just for that much down there. Now, out in the, let's go just a little higher here. Out in the distance, I will have some of the, let's see, this is, you're just straight alizarin, just a little bit. Oh, I really like that. Now, staying up there, different people have said, well, you know, I saw an image in there. Well, that was nice, but I need to take a little work there. This is alizarin and my red. And I want to come out just a little bit. I constantly am telling my friends and my students that you need to have some of the burn without being just a zipper where zip it's gone, zip it's on. This continues on inside a little bit, but you certainly need to have some of the happenings like that. Okay, we'll come over to its neighbor, and I don't see any on here on the original, but I'm just wondering if I could have just the smallest indication of that. And up there. Okay, on the tree that I'm just working on, I need to have some of that same orangey tone. This is the yellow ochre and alizarin. I told you the quantity when I put it over here. That's the same thing here. I think we put it on with a knife before. Now I'm just putting it on with the brush, because I already have it sort of marked where I want to go with it. I'm going to go just one little touch of it lighter inside the tree, just a little bit, the see-through. And I was talking to Lynn, you know, the see-through is so important on foliage. You put it in, but you need to disguise it just a little bit. I've looked, our neighbor's tree, Dondi, the Atkins, it sits so I can look out the window in the morning at it, big, beautiful tree. And I look at all the openings and they're there, but they're not just perfectly sharp. You have, I wouldn't say sharpness, not perfectly round. They have a little teeny edge of the leaves touching them. And the pretty much the way you do these things, I'm going to go up here just a little bit, is that this needs to be darker than the outside. And that's the criteria for if this were a tree against a blue sky, the blue inside would be just a teeny little bit darker, so it doesn't jump out with the contrast that you create when you put the light in the openings. Okay, let's go further to the right now. I have a red tree down here, and let's take this is my red and white. Okay, that's equal parts. I need to go a little more. So I have three red and one white. And just kind of touch that on, dance it on. You're constantly thinking, what's causing that to have that light? I don't always yell at people when I'm teaching, but I sometimes get enthused about what I'm doing. It's like, Bill, oh, fire in. I've watched him many times, and I was fortunate to do one series, I think it was just one, or maybe it was two, with him, where he did half the shows and I did half. And then they'd show us at the front piece walking. We got one where we're singing, "Cross over the bridge." Gee, we look like two drunken sailors, but it was so much fun. He was superhuman. Okay, now you see what I have. I have a kind of a dancing quality there. Very often, after I do that, I'll just take I'll do it on all of it, but let's just touch this just a little bit. It melts in slightly like it's been there for a while. Okay, now down front, and you know the nice thing about this, Dondi, Lori says, you know, it's no limit. When you're doing the PBS, you're doing 24 minutes, and then the next week, you have to finish it, 24 minutes more. But she's saying do it so it could hang on your wall or Dondi's wall. I have just a little touch of reds in there. And now let's take, I have some sap green and yellow ochre. Here's the sap green. And where'd the yellow ochre go? You're up here. I need to put some more of you out. It's so nice to be able to talk to your paints and ask them things like, where are you? Okay, let's take yellow ochre and sap green. I love to brush mix. It's not the best, but it sure works. This is equal parts of yellow ochre and sap green. We'll come down in this area just right. I was going to say that regardless. Just right. I'm going to take some pure sap green, and I'm going to put this over so it'll have a little bit of wetness there. Then when I put on the next one, I don't need quite as much because there's a lot of dark down in this area to start with. I'm not finished with the stream, Danielle. I'm not finished with the stream. So you can say, well, I like mine better than yours, but yours is beautiful. And Billy, oh my gosh, your seascapes. You're going to be known for your seascapes. Okay, this, as I put on the sap green, I'm touching a little bit against I just put on. So I'll take some more of that, which is yellow ochre and sap green. It's a little easier to tap this on after the initial sap green's been put on it. It kind of wets the area and you don't need to use as much. Come up here a little bit. Okay, what about up in the tree area? I'm going to first take some pure Van Dyke brown on the corner of the fan brush, and this is another happening almost like down here where we use the sap green, then the lighter. We're using the Van Dyke brown, and then we'll come with some lighter mixture. Oh, this is a good one here. And this goes right up there to the top. Still Van Dyke brown. But if I use a small amount of it, it mixes in a little bit with the glaze. I guess you call it a glaze. I used to call it, what did I call it? Saturday night bath, where you're putting on that paint, but it has a little white with it. If it didn't have white, you'd call it a glaze. But if it's got a little white, in my vernacular, it's a Saturday night bath. And for you that don't know what that means, no. Oh, we used to have baths where we'd have a tub and Saturday night, and we'd take turns, and it's always tough to be the last one. When you had 5 in the family, that water was well used by the time we got to the 5th one. I don't remember if we ever changed or not. That wouldn't be fair. Maybe we did. Okay, here and here and here and there. Okay, let's see what we should do next. I kind of need to have a little bit of that first glaze color we used. Let's see, this is yellow ochre and green that we put on through there. I want just a little bit of that. It'd be nice if it was a straight line, Billy. Light travels in straight lines. Okay, now let's go and take a little bit more definition. This is the ochre and alizarin. Oh, like that. And I'm using the corner of the fan brush and just really enjoying the touching of it. I'm looking at this trunk and I think, where did its neighbor go? We'll have to put in its neighbor, because its neighbor is strategically placed, helps lead us back to the middle of the canvas. This will put a little bit up in there too, so you don't really follow that out. You kind of watch over in here. What about you? Just a little bit, maybe. It'll kind of break up that green, Billy. Okay, now let's go ahead with some trunks and branches. Oh gosh, it's so great to do this. What do you want to do? I want to have this is Van Dyke brown, and I need to have something on that. Let's try alizarin, one Van Dyke brown, and one cream orange. What in the world will that give? It will give a nice trunk. Okay, I need to lean on this. Let's see if I have a maul stick. In the absence of a maul stick, I use my hand. Let's see, you're here, you're here. Okay. Oh. We'll let this come down all the way. And this one does, it comes on past the red down to this spot. So this is in front of that. Okay, I'm going to let this one go over here. These will receive a little light, so you'll be able to see them better shortly. The absolute necessity is for tapering. Wider here as it goes up, narrow, narrow, narrow. Sometimes you have to be careful that you don't narrow too quickly. Let's see, we got this one. Let's put one here. And over on the next one, let's go with just a little down there. Notice where I started. I didn't go clear to the top. I just leave them to fade it out. And then we'll go just a little branch. Those are just like in a family. You just need to everybody with some respect. And when I say you treat them equal to what they need at that age or whatever, but you know, that's so important. Dondi was our favorite, and of course we showed that all the time. No, we didn't. But she's become such a pillar of strength to us. Okay, as I look, you know, I'm going to be putting some highlights on there, but I think while I'm in the neighborhood, let's take some Van Dyke Brown and give just a little hint of these branches coming over there. So you get just a little suggestion of what's holding all of that up. I'm going to come down and on this trunk, but what I'll do it where I skip just a little bit here and there, so it isn't one just solid dark line. And if I feel like this one is just a little strong, I'll take a little bit of the light color that I've been putting over on the right and put on it like that. Okay, now on the trees on the right, I'm going to put the highlight on, and then I'll be very selective on, well, both selective with the highlight and selective with the little accents on the tree. And what I mean by that is there'll be places that I'll have a little dark, and rather than the whole thing just being an outline of the dark. Okay, here comes the light. This is our same ochre and alizarin crimson that we placed on. And I'm using my little finger as a kind of a prompter, a help on the canvas. And we'll come down here. This is strong here. And when it's strong, I put more quantity on. And down below here. The nice thing is, I feel prompted, and you know, like I'm doing this, and the prompting comes, use a little palette knife too, and I will in just a minute. But let's come down here. So my teacher, Claude Buck, and you can kind of see his picture off to the side there. He guides me. He tells me so many things. You know, I pray to Heavenly Father, but Claude certainly has been an influence in my life. Oh, and I found a solution. It's what the Mormons did. They had this big infestation of crickets. It was destroying everything. What did they do? They prayed and the seagulls came. So I thought, well, why don't we do that now? We don't need seagulls, but we need help. We need some kind of solution. So say your prayers. Buck, I like it when you talk like that. You bet. This one, I noticed it comes down and connects into that one. So I need to now come with some darks, and then we'll use a little bit of the knife. This is Van Dyke Brown, And we'll go just a little bit. Each limb is just like saying each child, they may not get the same character, but analyze them and see what their needs are. A little dark right there as it turns. I like that. I like that very much. Okay, coming down. And you know, there is a certain kind of a, I'm just touching that so it blends down more. There is a certain hurry up to this that even though Lori says, take your time, do it, you know, if I were watching this being done, I would want the person to move along and let's see some results. Okay, now what about at the bottom? Well, at the bottom, I'm going to take some of the same light I put on there and have this. This will sort of curve just a little bit so you get the feeling like it's attached there. That's its position. Okay, now as we suggested, let's take a little bit of the knife. And when I do this, I'm going to have orange and white, and I'm going to use, that's orange and white, equal parts. Okay, now I'm using the knife and I balancing it on the one finger. Ooh, isn't that powerful? Up higher, there a little bit. But notice there's a lot of places that I don't put it. Because why? Because some of the foliage would block it. We'll come down here. This is a nice one. I want to have a little more on that one. He got just a little shortchanged. And then down below, just maybe just a little bit as it starts to turn. And then its other parts, let's have a little bit, see the light that hits there? This is kind of right in the path of where that would hit. Now, as I go back, let's see if there's anything else I want to do. I want to take a little bit of orange and white. Are you still equal? Do you want to put a little yellow ochre with that? Yeah, so that's yellow ochre and orange and white equal. And I want to use this just as a little kind of a spot. And I'm have it on the bottom of the knife. Let's just say I have too much there. I'll come back with just a little green. And didn't do a thing. Come back with a little green and just touch into it slightly like that. Okay, is there anything else we want to do over there? Maybe a touch of the golden color over in here. That's better. That's a nice entrance to that. And on the way over towards the sun, I find that it could even have just a little more strength right in there. And a little bit more down there. We put some light there, but now using the orange ochre and white, it's just a little more, well, you use your favorite adjective. It's better. Okay, I want to go over to the far side and okay, just move. All right. So let's take the orange, ochre, and white. I don't know if that'll make it any lighter or not. It seems to, doesn't it? Danielle, you should shake your head and say yes, because I'm kind of checking on your response. A little bit there, and then just a little bit on a curve there. Okay, I see just a little bit here. Anyplace else? We can come over here. It certainly would help to have a little bit of that vitality showing. And then down here, besides that, I'll take some of that same red. It's never an accident. It's always planned. Just a little red off. Gee, how much red do you have on you? You just went a long ways there. Let's try just a little higher with a little of the red. It'll just kind of mix in and maybe give just a little more unity. That's a good word, unity. Okay, so now let's come back over to the waterfall, and I keep trying to move that. But the first thing I want to do when I get there is what I put on here, it needs to be pushed so it lays down properly. And laying down properly happens because that intense sun coming down is going to affect it. Okay, I'm going to take now, this is yellow and white equal. This is 3 white and 1 yellow. I'm going to go lighter. So I have 6 white. And this goes on the bottom of the knife. And I'm coming up in this, and you say, well, I don't see much difference. That's great. But let's do this. Let's put it on and then just move a little bit of it around. So it isn't necessarily just thinking about making the sun lighter, but its neighborhood. And I can take some of this same orangish tone that we've been putting on and come right down in here at the bottom of the sun. I like that aspect, and I like it just a little bit here and there, some gleams. Let's take a fan brush and just push those just a little bit. Disguise them slightly. But you make use of the feeling of rays coming down without being too blatant in your application. Okay, now let's come down to the water. And that, so I put the little glaze across that. I'm going to, let's see, if I just took white, I don't know. What should I do? Let's see, I want to try something. This is green and white. What are you going to do with that? Well, I thought if I put just a little bit of this on first before the lightest light. So did you get a formula on that for the people? I have 1 green, and that's about 5 white. Yeah, 1 green and 5 white. How come you're putting that in? Because I want to have, other than pure hard blue. And I'll just soften that a little bit. See, this is a building to the lights. We haven't put the highlight on yet for the foam river. and let it, as we've said before, let it drip down, but the value that we put at the top will be lighter than that which is on the side. This is on the side of the waterfall. You can say, "Oh, I don't like it yet." Yet is the word. Yet. Okay, now let's put some highlights on. I'll take the same color that we put in the sun, except I won't take the same color we took in the sun, put in the sun. Well, let's try it. It'll be quite light. I was thinking even going lighter, but right there. Notice that I did not fill the whole thing in. You can still see some of the green here and there, and we'll check it as we go. When we said before, the bottom of the waterfall, this is the bottom of that little fall. Then a new highlight down here. And you already have previously that side. So we'll just come down to the bottom of that. And I'm going to come back lighter in these. And there's not saying that my way is necessarily the right way. There may be others that would put it on quite light and then work with it. But this is just one way, and I'm showing you my way. One of my ways. Now, see that I went quite a bit lighter. That's truly the sun area. Okay, now that I have the path, I'm going to come back and get a good strong one there. See that's the origin, at least to us, that we see. And just touch down just a little bit. And then let's come down to the next one in here. And then you kind of break into it a little bit, so it's not too rigid. This is moving water. It's moving day. Oh, Buck, you're so funny. Anyway, then the next one down here, maybe just a little bit under there. And finally, down lower, I want to have quite a strong one. Strong is quantity. And you can have just a little ripples. This, I'm using the side of the knife. Edge of the knife, I guess you would say. Lori, remember when we, up at Silver Falls, we actually played a game of touch football, and you caught the winning touchdown?
I do remember that.
Yeah, who threw it?
I think it was you.
It was. Gee, don't think. Remember, I remembered you caught it. You remember I threw it.
Yep, I do remember you threw it. We used to have a lot of fun up there.
Oh, that was wonderful. Memories. Oh. Okay, now I'm taking a fan brush, which is basically clean and dry. And I want to have just a little edge of the brush, kind of just softening slightly, mostly on the right side. And that's not a rule. It just happens in this one where we do that. So your focus is more back over there. It doesn't follow across. This one down below, you kind of have it both sides. Well, I'm just gonna put another couple touches on. I need to put a little light on this edge, and I'm taking the ochre and alizarin just a little bit. Ooh, where did I just put you on? I must have. It looks good. I wasn't going to put you there, but that's great. Okay, let's go with. I want to take just a little green to narrow that slightly. I'm sure I'm blocking you, but the upper branch. And then over to its neighbor, I just blend that a little bit so my eye doesn't go there. But I want to have stronger lights on this one. So it's the same orange and white we've been using, I think. Oh, why didn't you do something? Did. I'm going to just look around now with the knife. First of all, right in there, I want to soften this and I want to soften that so they don't jump out and take too much interest away from what's there. Just go through there just a little bit. Over here is okay. You know, we preached about having that see-through look. And then I'm thinking, why wouldn't there be just a little see-through in this area? Okay, what happens there? You have some Van Dyke brown. And see, when I'm looking, this tree comes up, 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 up. It's got nice light, but it doesn't have any backside to it. Oh, that's good. And you, no, you're okay. You're okay. This is okay. That's okay. I think just a little stronger light down in here. Let's take sap green and yellow. That's equal parts sap green and yellow. And I want to go just, oh, it's not working. 2 yellow, 1 sap green. Okay. The knife is all usually right. Same thing over here, just a little bit of the yellow and sap green, 2 sap green. I want to take that. If you're going to be on my wall, you better do it right. Okay, let's do one probably last thing. I'll take a little the Van Dyke brown over here. I want to come down so you can see the formation of that trunk just a little better. Now, I think I will open it up to you and see for your comments. Is that all right with you, Lori? But I do want to come back and show a couple things.
Okay, that sounds great. I'll first make a comment, Buck. When you said earlier that, you know, we may get tired of, you know, we may want you to hurry up and get some results. If we just wanted to be entertained, that'd probably be true. But the fact is, we want to know what you know. We want to know your every little move, because that's what's going to make us better. And so if it takes a while, and, you know, just being in your studio, watching and learning from you is a tremendous opportunity for us.
Thank you, Lori. That I must not forget that objective.
Yeah. All right. If anybody would like to unmute and ask Buck a question, feel free to do that right now.
Buck, when you first started, how dry was your painting? Because mine, I've been working on it and it's wet. So as far as glazing, how dry does it need to be?
Well, mine was totally dry. I set it in the window in the sun and I could touch it and totally dry. Not tacky, dry. And you know,
in the summertime, I have problems with my paintings drying when it's real humid. So maybe if you can find a room that's real dry and not humid, or put a dehumidifier in there, it would dry quicker.
That, you know, and my friend Lynn, same thing. She she has a, you know, sometimes you stick it up in the window, rear view window in a car and let it sit. I told you about the time that I had a bunch of paint and I put it all together, kind of a abstract looking thing, and I really liked it. And I finished doing my PBS filming, went down 25 miles away where my mother was living, and I showed her and she said, "Oh, that's kind of nice." And I said, "Well, I need to have it dry so I can take it home." And so I put it in the oven, and oh, the putrid smell. She said, "Take it out of here, take it out." So I took it out and left it in the garage and went home without it. Anyway, there are some that I'm just touching a little bit there because I want there to be just a little feeling of land between there. Okay, anybody else?
Yes, but could you move the camera so we could see the right-hand lower corner of the picture?
Right hand lower corner.
Yeah,
So other way, Buck.
other way.
So Rita,
Thank you.
Jean, it's possible for
Oh,
you
you're
to
talking
move
about
the
down in
pictures.
here?
Yeah, I couldn't see the lower corner at all. I don't know if anybody else could or not.
Does it have to do with where the pictures of the people are on your screen?
Lori, this is Rita. I have because
Right now it's
vision
perfect.
problem.
Yes.
Yes, it's good. I have it really big, so that pushes it over where I can't see the right side real good.
Okay. Well, I could see it through the whole thing. How about other people?
Now I can see it.
Okay. All right.
I wanted to ask Buck, when he did the green, I have to look at my notes. He just said green. Did you mean sap green, or were you going to phthalo green?
You guys, in the future, if you can't see, if he's working on an area and you can't see, go ahead and unmute and speak up and let us know that, okay? Because on my camera, I can see it, but.
How he's doing it too, you know what I mean? You got to, because like I move around when I'm painting, he's got to stay right in that same spot and, you know, just try to stay out of the way of the camera. But that's awesome. Soft painting, like that's my challenge, making things soft like that. And, I'm going to try.
Good. Is Dondi still there?
Dondi's still here.
Yes, I didn't want to interrupt before the other people, but I love light, and your picture just captivates light in the most magnificent way. I'm sorry, I just absolutely love your painting. I just love it. It's gorgeous.
Okay, would you turn over the paper and read the rest of it?
No,
my daughters will never watch me paint. I gotta like twist the arm to get that.
it's true.
I would like to underline that comment about the light. I think your painting is beautiful. The light is awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Lynn. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments?
If it's not good enough for your wall, Buck, you can ship it to Surrey, BC.
Thank you. Now, I do, like I say, I have a couple things I want to show you on as I leave this one. How many of you recall the design that was kind of on there before the drawing? This would help just a little bit. This isn't it, but remember how I put the acrylic all over and it's flowing around, and then I put that painting on. So I don't know if you can see Ender now or not. That's not important. It was such a help. And I want to show you one other thing. Let's see. I guess I'm a little close. So I'm going to raise that and then come up here a little bit. What do I bring the camera back, Lori?
Yeah, go ahead and bring it back a little ways, a little more. And then you can tilt it, bring it back a little more and then tilt it down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Mhm.
This is what I did too. And the idea was, okay, now I'll put something into it. But I was fired yesterday, don't touch it. And I use this as a model. So often I will set up some landscape. It might be what somebody else has done, or just go to Google and put in landscapes or mountains and so on. And I find this gives me as much direction as any of that. And if I look at my skies and think, oh, gee, if I can get that in it. So I set this up in front of my TV monitor, and it becomes the inspiration for my paintings. And there's different ways you can turn it too. So you really use that. I call it the splish splash method. And thing is, I want to that down, and I want to, oops, I want to put up this. Did you say, Buck, we saw that, we've seen that? Yes, you've seen it. But now I need to do a couple things. One is to take just a little bit of the reddish, and I'm looking this, what are you? Well, it looks like burnt sienna. It's my alizarin and yellow ochre. And I'm going to come just in here a little bit. It's so little, but once it's on the wall, it can be right. And then the other thing, I'm going to come over just a little bit there. The other thing is the foam patterns I put on. Now, so many of you, when you put your foam patterns on, be sure you have variety of sizes and be sure that they're laying on the wave, which means they're going to be lighter down below and they won't be as light as they go up inside because it's curving over. It's shutting out the light. But as I look down here, I felt I need to have another foam pattern. So what are you?
Buck,
Yes.
I'm going to interrupt you for a minute. Can you just go ahead and rotate a little bit, your body a little bit to the right to pull your shoulder out? There we go. Thank you.
I can't see the right-hand side of the painting.
You can't see the right-hand side of the painting?
Right.
Are the people, you know, are all of our little pictures going down the side for you?
No, I don't have them on. I can turn them on and off.
Okay, all right. How about, can everybody else see it? Because it's shows
I
up
can
on, you
I
can?
can see it. Yeah, it's fine for me.
Okay.
I can't see it.
No
I
problem.
can see it.
No problem.
Okay.
Well, let's see if that's 4 can see it and 3 can't. The 4s win, right?
Well, you know what? The thing to know is that the recording will be, you will be able to see it in the recording when we put it up later today, because I think the shot seems centered for me, or fairly centered.
Yeah, it looks good to me too.
When I put the little pictures at the bottom, I can see the whole canvas. But
Yes.
when I take them away, I'm losing the right-hand side.
Okay, so yeah, you can move the people either to the top or the bottom. Okay, go ahead, Buck.
Okay, the last thing I was going to is take, you know, we use some of the pattern. This section right in here, maybe on yours, on the model, it looks a little lighter, but I need to have just a little bit of a foam pattern there on mine so that it isn't just a dot. I'm amazed when I look at what you're seeing and what I'm seeing. Since in here, I really like it, and then its neighbor, it seems so dark there, but in reality, it isn't. I'm taking just a touch of that burnt, that glycerin and ochre, and put just a little bit in there, and then you feel there's a nice value change there. So I think now, Lori, I can put it on the wall. Try one other thing. This little reddish color. I wonder what would happen if I put just a little bit there. And I need to be sure that I don't lose that little foam pattern that I had just placed on. But I'm very conscious of form, form, the values. I go a 1, 3. So this number 1, these are number 1s. This is a number 2 down here. This is a 3. We need to have 3, 2, and 1 on all of it. This is a 1, 2, and just a little bit of 3. It's not saying they have to be equal, but we just need to get rid of all the hardness. Okay. Any other questions? It's been great being with you. I just love what we did today, and I like the extra time a little after. This is back here. Let me just place that up. What I might do is just look over before Friday. I kind of feel that maybe there should be just a little bit of something coming down, and I'm looking at the yellow and sap green. So there was a reason to show you the seascape, so it would make it look at this fresh again when it came back. Okay, I didn't sign it yet, but there we are. Thank you, Lori. It's been great.
Yeah. Hey, Buck, I'm wondering if, you made a comment when you had the seascape up there. You said, you wanted to add that color so it wasn't so hard. Billy mentioned earlier that something he struggles with is to how, to get to the softness, to keep working the painting until the hardness is gone and the soft. Is that right, Billy? Is that kind of what you meant?
Yeah, because as I do it, you know how he talks about the 1, 2, 3 values, and then as I try to soften it, then it just, it all goes away. And then to get that to be like that, I would have to wait till it dries and then do it like that. Like I can't, maybe I'm putting too much paint, I don't know.
It could be too much paint, but just so conscious when you put that first number 3 on, which is the big shape, that you can almost get a kind of softness then. So in each application, you don't do it until the first one's correct, and then you put the second one on very small amount and work into it.
All right, was that helpful, Billy?
Yes, everything he does helps me.
Okay, all right.
I appreciate it, Bob. Thank you.
You're welcome, Billy. Just a little bit of the foam coming off there. I was looking at, I think it was yours, Facebook, was it, Billy?
Yes, that's your other version of the, not this one, it's the one that was on the DVD. That you showed when you started this, you showed the original of it. The one that I did, I started in red, and I was wondering, oh, my internet connection is bad. And I was wondering your original, did you start that like tinted blue? The one that's real bluish looking?
I'm wondering which painting you're talking about.
The
Buck, he's
city
talking-
lights with the city on the other side.
Okay, well that was yellow ochre, black and white.
Yes, that, and it was on the orange background, but then your original that you show is like, seems a lot more crystal clear. I don't know if that's just because you do like you do over time, just keep adding to it.
Well, the one thing I noticed about yours, Billy, I'm not answering that question. The rocks that you have in that, you got the water coming straight down, and it would have to be a gravestone for the water to come straight down without kind of bouncing along on the indentations and structure. That was meant to get laughs, not hurts.
No, I know what you're saying.
Okay, so Billy, as far as that video that you were following, the city lights one, I think were you following the Alexander video?
Yes, that's
Okay.
a DVD where he's wearing a red shirt and the canvas is tinted red on the background.
Okay, we
And
can.
then the original that he shows, like it looks really different color. So I was wondering if the back of that canvas was tinted a different color, the one that you went by for that demonstration, which I guess you're done it, like that's one of your classes that you do.
Yeah.
Beats me.
Yeah. All right, anybody, any other comments or questions?
I have a question that's not really related. I was just wondering, are we continuing this next week?
Yes.
You mean the seascape?
You mean the workshops?
Yes, and Buck, are you teaching something again next week?
It would be my privilege, as long as the people are shut. I think it's my responsibility to help give them some pleasure.
Yeah, we've already got the list will go out Sunday night. It'll be emailed out to everyone with the links for next week. We have workshops every day except for Tuesday. Buck will be on Monday and Friday, and Tom will be on Wednesday and Thursday.
I have a question.
Okay.
Buck, how much did you pay Don
Oh, that's my brother
Lori
Lyle.
to say you were so good?
I was gonna say Uncle Lyle's on.
Oh my God.
This is really impressive. I mean, when we were kids, he couldn't even draw a straight line. This is unbelievable. Really.
Dad always, Lyle was Dad's favorite son.
So maybe we ought to excuse Buck and just keep Lyle on for the next hour, and he can tell us real stories about Buck.
There you go.
He's one of the
Lyle,
best.
you just let me know if you want your own show. We'll.
It sure won't be for this type of thing, I'll tell you. Really great. I'm signing off, Buck. It's nice to see. I saw you for about a half an hour or so.
Thank you for coming on, Lyle. Gee, when I first heard your voice, could that be? Yeah, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.
Right.
Bye, Uncle Lyle.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Tall.
Yeah.
All right, bye, Lyle.
Buck, how about the first time you decided to do a TV show? Like, can you explain like when you knew you were ready?
Well, I'll tell you what, a very long time ago, I thought I would like to do a TV show because I knew Gary Jenkins was on. And then he had a fellow come up from Florida that wanted to do Gary, but he couldn't. So he ended up doing me. But the thing was, I went back to Milwaukee and did these 13 shows, and we were very pleased. And then they were to air in Florida. And then I get the word that down in Florida, I don't remember what the station was, but it said to this fellow, they said, "You didn't pay us for Sherry Nelson. She was a bird painter. You didn't pay for putting her on. We're not going to put Buck on. So my 13 shows done in Milwaukee was a complete waste of time. However, the camera crew that filmed me in Milwaukee also did some work for Bill Alexander. So they were looking for this at a TV show. So that's what happened. Actually, there's one time I went to Florida to this fellow, but another fellow was going to put on some watercolor artists, and I kind of begged to be able to go. So if I remember right, I think I paid my own way down there and did the show. And again, the crew loved it, but as we don't have any need for a oil painter at this time. So there were a few hurdles to overcome, and I was blessed ever after when I got with the Alexander Company and then eventually with Prairie Public Television.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with personality too. Both you and Bill, like I say, you give that people that spark that makes them want to go paint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the enthusiasm you show.
Well, that's wonderful. I'll tell you, I come into a different mode when I'm performing and doing this and being with something I love so much. So I can talk normally and how's things going. The score was 4-3, but gosh, sometimes it's fun to have emotion, and I love it. I love Lori. Dondi, are you listening?
Yes, Dad, I'm listening.
Okay, I love Lori.
I know. You always say good things about Lori all the years.
Yeah.
I appreciate you too, Lori. Thank you for all that you do.
We've been together a long time. Danielle, what are you painting?
I think Danielle was painting along with you. Were you, Danielle?
I was not. But I'm getting some gesso on some canvases to get them ready. I was comparing my picture with yours at the same time. I was watching it and watching you back and forth for a few minutes there, though. Trying to decide what I was going to do because my canvas is a different size.
Yes.
Great. Anybody have any comments or questions for Buck?
Yes, please. May I please thank him very, very much for the beautiful crits he did on my 2 paintings. I really appreciated the encouraging remarks he said and all the information he gave me how I can better the paintings. Thank you so, so much. I was so impressed.
Well, that is such a nice compliment. Gosh, this is on our Tuesday morning critique class. And often what happens if people will send in the thing where they're working from, what do you call that, model or reference that they're working from, then it's kind of easy to say, well, you can do this or that. Now in your 2, I just put down things that I knew needed to be done, and to get your feedback now is so uplifting. I so thank you for it.
I don't know if Laurie told you, but the one with the autumn colors, that was a totally knife painting. There was no brushwork on there.
Huh. Good for you.
Yeah.
So it was just that Tom mentioned something about doing just plain knife paintings without any brushwork. So I said that in just to show that I also tried it, and I found it very difficult because I'm still learning how to use the brushes.
Yes.
And I'm still learning how to use the knives.
Well, Linda, you did a great job.
Thank you very, very much for those crits. I really appreciated them.
Thank you.
So Lindy, if you want to go ahead and I know the autumn scene is no longer in your presence, but if you want to work on the other one and if you want to make the adjustments that Buck suggested, send the painting back in and then he'll take another look.
Thank you so much. I'm going to do that next week when I have more time. I've just had such a lot on my plate this week.
Sounds great.
It can happen.
Thank you so much. I can't tell you, I was so impressed with the way you credited both my works. I didn't expect that. I really didn't.
Oh,
Thank you for your kind way of also explaining what needed to be done.
super, super.
You're an awesome artist, and really to give us your expertise like that, I so appreciate that. Thank you very much, Buck.
Oh, hate to say goodbye to you.
Oh, she'll be back Monday. We'll see her Monday, I'm sure.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, yes.
All right. Anybody else want to say anything before I end the meeting?
Love you, Daddy. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank
Hey,
you.
Dondi, before you go, I just want everyone on here to know that Dondi's the famous one who said, Daddy, how old were you when you painted that first painting? And she gets 3. So, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Yes, on the paper towel. Yes.
Yeah. So you're famous among the group. So.
Well, thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
All right.
Bye.